Hello guys, we're back. It's a bit of a long break. Been really busy. Had a lot of stuff going on where it was hard to find the time to make a video, but there was always time to read. There's been lots of time to read, which has been really nice. So this video is going to be a bit of a catch up, and so it might be a bit of a long one. So take a deep breath, So, main thing is, this coffee is very nice. The main thing is that I finished Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. I finally did it. It took me about 3 months to read this. I have a lot to say about it, and it's hard to gather a good thought on it at the present moment. But my main might be better here. My main thoughts on it currently are that I liked it. I really did. I think that it really did reach the expectations that everyone put on it. I think that the writing style was extremely gripping. It took me a little bit to kind of get into the rhythm of the book, where kind of understanding David Foster Wallace's writing style and kind of the storytelling style. To me, the book felt like a collection of short stories that are all linked in some way, and then about 300 pages in, it starts to envelop a bit more, where you get more of an idea of everything. But there are so many things in this book that I could talk about, that are pretty poignant for the time of technology and social media and addiction and all of that. There's lots of funny stuff in the book. I really liked the entire section about how the future video calling has taken the world by storm, and everyone uses that, and that people started to get insecure about how they looked, and so they had filters invented. Mind you, this book was written in the 90s, so it's a bit funny seeing how it kind of came true. And the same with how they have a president that took over and overthrew the government, so to say, that was a singing crooner TV star that promised all these things and never delivered anything, and ran on the idea of vague statements, I think was the word used, vague statements and catchy catchphrases, and that's how he won the presidency. And I thought that was kind of funny, not to get political, but I was like, oh, that's kind of what's happened. But the book was very good. The only thing I kind of didn't like was the last little bit of the book. I felt like it lost me a little bit. Kind of got a bit out-of-worldly, I guess, but I didn't hate it. I just thought, oh, I wish it didn't kind of go this direction. But this book is so monumental that it's kind of hard to even to talk about it. It's like, not that there's spoilers at all. Like, I could tell you the entire book and it's still not gonna spoil it for you. It's just hard to describe something that's so, monumental and gripping, and such a obelisk for the time and the present day. I saw a video giving the summary, or trying to describe the plot to someone is like trying to describe the Grand Canyon. You can tell someone how it is, but it's really meant for you to go and experience yourself. And you could tell someone everything about the book, but it's still meant for someone else to go read it and experience that for yourself. And I really do agree. Like, you can look up the plot summary and look up everything that happens, but it's still, the joy is in reading the book. It is just so gripping that you didn't hear from me for almost 3 straight months because I was so locked into this. So if you have thought about reading it, I would deeply suggest it. But what I would suggest is that if you sometimes do read things on like a Kindle or a Kobo like I do, read it on that, because it's so easy just to click the little button and read the footnote instantly. And of course, footnotes are extremely essential to read. You can't skip them. You got to read them as they come up. And I found that when I was reading it on this, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because there were some pages that had like 4 footnotes, and it was just getting a bit much. And so I switched to the electronic version, which was really handy. Just being able to press the button and it just opens up the footnote, and then I could read it and then click X and I'm back at my page, or I can click back to page and it will take me all the way back. I found that really convenient. Sometimes there's footnotes within footnotes, so it's even more convenient that way as well. But yes, I finished this. I'm extremely proud of myself. I might bake a cake that's shaped like Infinite Jest because I'm so proud I finished this. It was quite difficult at some points, but you know, it wasn't as hard as Moby Dick, I will say. This was more fun than Moby Dick to read. And Mike would get that joke because Mike does not like Moby Dick. But Mike, you should read this because this is better than Moby Dick. After that book, I was so excited to read this other book that I have that I didn't get a chance to really read because of Infinite Jest. And I finally got to read it, and I was so excited to read it. I'm going to use Infinite Jest as a stand. I read it in 3 days because I just was so excited to read it. And that book is The Interrupted Journey, which is by John G. Fuller, and it's about Betty and Barney Hill. In the 1960s, this couple was driving back from, I think they went to the Niagara Falls, I believe it was, for just a holiday, and they say they saw a UFO and they were abducted by it. Now, this book mostly is about their hypnotism sessions where they recounted the lost memory they had, and it is really, really like interesting. And some of the facts they gave are like, this happened to me. It was crazy. And so I really enjoyed this one. If you're kind of new to UFO books or you're just kind of interested, this is a really good starting point. And it's a really easy read. Like, it only took me 3 days to read it, and it was really fun. I read that one. And what I'm currently reading now, which I should have finished in a couple of days because this is really good, is the Bhagavad Gita, which is an Indian scripture kind of book, but this version I'm reading is by Eknath Eswaran. I probably butchered that, but this book is really good. I am really, really into this. I've always been into kind of Eastern spirituality and Ram Dass, Zen Buddhism. I practiced Zen Buddhism for a very long time now, and that is kind of where I led my life in terms of spirituality, which is not, Zen Buddhism is not really a religion, it's more of a practice. But, these kind of texts are really, I find interesting to me, even though I'm not Hindu myself. I kind of do enjoy reading this kind of stuff, as well as like magic and occult kind of stuff. It's interesting to me. And I've never read the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm really glad I'm reading it because this has got such incredible words and phrasing about being able to be in the moment and living in a present time. And it's important for man to have dedication within himself so he can help others and all that kind of jazz. I've underlined so much of this because it's so incredible. This one that I read today was, you should never engage in action for the sake of reward, nor should you long for inaction. Perform the work in this world as a man established within himself without selfish attachments and alike in success and defeat. So you should work, but not for the fruit of your work, but because it's what you need to do. I've been reading that. I've been really enjoying it. The light just went a bit low. The book I read as well, I read another one, which only took me 3 days, was another UFO book called Dimensions by Jacques Vallée. This book was more about the idea that aliens are interdimensional beings rather than aliens from other planets. And it also, a lot of the book is about historical encounters and how people back in the 16 and 1100s were talking about fairies and elves and how they can be, in today's light, be seen as alien and UFO encounters. And that's what this book was about, and I quite liked this one as well. I'm just gonna fix my light. I feel like it just got darker, or is that just my phone kind of, I don't know, it just went darker. It talks about how historically people seeing wizards or flames talking to them, it's it could be interdimensional aliens and stuff. It's a bit out there, but it was a fun read. I read that one. Another book I picked up. Well, sorry, I'll get into books that I've bought because I bought a fair few, to be honest. I bought The Day After Roswell, which is about the Roswell crash, another UFO book. It's the last UFO book I'm going to read for a while because I'm a bit UFO'd out. This one's about the crash in Roswell in the 40s. I think everybody knows about it. And yeah, I've heard this is the book to read if you want to learn about it. Another book I picked up is The Stonemason, which is a play by Cormac McCarthy, who I'm a big fan of. Haven't read this. It's one of the rare ones I haven't read by Cormac. Excited to read that. It'll probably take me like an afternoon, not even. I picked up this one. It's called All the President's Men by C. Burnside, which is about the Watergate scandal, which I don't really know a lot about, but I love American history, and I have news about America soon. I love American history and I love reading about it, and I really am interested in the Watergate scandal, so I bought a book about it. And I believe they made a movie about this, so I'll probably watch the movie as well. These two books I picked up in a lot because I'm a very big X-Files fan, for obvious reasons. I like my alien stuff, and so I got two X-Files books. This one's called Ruins and this one's called Antibodies. So this should be an interesting read. I don't really watch read a lot of novelizations. Apart from that, I don't think I've really picked up anything else. I have a few on order that I'm waiting to arrive. I'm really after some Aleister Crowley books. That's kind of what I want to read next. As with fiction stuff, I haven't really got anything in mind that I want to read currently. I'm trying to find the next fiction book I want to read, but as for the moment, I haven't really found what I want to read. But right now, I'm just kind of in a non-fiction bit where I'll read that for a while. Any other news is that going to the US again in June, and I'm excited. It's my favorite place to visit, and I'm going to do a fair bit again this time. So, going to do more California. I'm going to hike the Half Dome in California, which I'm very excited about, hoping I get a permit. Going to hike Angel's Landing, which I hope I get a permit for. And then I'm just going to kind of keep my books open, and I've got a rental car for the entire month. I'm just going to drive and see where I end up. Kind of want to see Wyoming and Montana. I might even go to Kansas, Dakota. I really don't know. I just kind of going to see where the wind takes me, If I'm in somewhere and someone says, hey, there's a cool thing you got to go see in this town, I'll go look at it, I really want like my real Kerouac adventure of, hey, you should come here, or hey, you should go there and see this. And I think that's where I find the most fun in traveling, is when I don't have anything bound by and I just kind of go to the wind. When I went to Alaska, that's kind of how I traveled. I just kind of went and just see where I ended up, and that was some of the most fun. And then the last time I went to the States as well, that was kind of the same. It was, I know I need to end up in this city on this date, but I've got 3 days to do it, and I'm just going to drive whatever path I want, see whatever small town or any antique store or, beautiful nature I want, and just hope I end up there on time. And so I'm going to do that. I'll be there for an entire month. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really got any other books. I have one coming soon, which will be a good read, but I haven't really got any fiction, which I'm getting a bit worried about. I want to get back into reading fiction. I mean, Infinite Jest was such a big book that it's kind of hard to get back into it, because I felt a bit burnt out by the end of it, reading. And then I was excited to read some non-fiction stuff, which is a lot easier to digest. It's not constantly keeping up with characters and backstories. I got a tickle in my throat. But yeah, I'm just kind of on the hunt for the next book I want to read. I kind of want to read like a book that's not like book talk, but just a classic book that every kind of book YouTuber has read, like Infinite Jest or 2666, stuff like that. I want to read something like that, which is, popular amongst the community. I was thinking Lonesome Dove, but I really want a physical copy of it, but I can't really find one with that original cover that I like. yeah, so I'm a bit in between books at the moment for fiction, but I'll find something soon. And I'll make some videos about it. Oh my god, I got a cough. But yeah, that's about it. I'll be back on making more videos soon. Obviously, I've just been away because I've been reading a massive book and haven't really had the time. But now I'm back. I'm making more. Yeah. If you've got any questions or any recommendations for books that I should read or things I should see when I'm traveling, or if you want me to make some longer videos on some of the other books I've talked about, or maybe I should make some list books. I feel like they're popular, of like top 10 books on this subject. But yeah, the stuff that I want to read next is stuff by Aleister Crowley. I want to read a book more about left hand and right hand magic. I don't really know anything about it, but I'd like to learn. Yeah, any questions? Want to chat? Just let me know. See you guys.